I'm really sorry about not posting for like over 2 weeks. It's almost been 3 weeks at this point, but October just got away from me. Like, a lot went on for me personally this month. You know, I went on vacation for like a week, had my birthday, and yeah, everything else was just kind of busy. And I mean, there were some things that I was thinking about covering, but it just wasn't enough to actually get me to, you know, set everything up, log into the game, and actually cover it. But I feel like it's, you know, it's already, that butterfly flew straight into the camera. I feel like we're really close, especially with the beginning of November coming up, that they're definitely going to want to be pushing Test Realm for an early November release, so plan on that. As for actually Test Realm, like what I'm going to cover, I'm going to do my normal thing, but I'm not going to be covering a lot of the world in terms of a whole walkthrough or anything like that. I'll probably do something like a walkthrough. I'm not sure the format yet, if it's going to be recorded or live streamed or what. We'll talk about that later, but I won't do that until Live Realm. So Test Realm soon, and they are teasing a lot of things, but the biggest thing that I wanted to cover in this video is going to be this new school-specific pip system that they're introducing. So pips have been, you know, regular pips and power pips have been in the game since the beginning. They added shadow pips later, and we haven't had a new pip since Chrysalis when shadow pips were introduced. So the fact that they are introducing these school-specific pips is a big deal. Seems like they're doing this in order to make the dual school feature actually viable. Dual school has existed in this game, you know, for a long time. I remember making fun of one of the tutorial tips or something in the beginning of the game where they say to pick another school, basically go into another school with your training points and to spend them and learn the spells of whatever the school that you want to choose. Now, the advice for Wizard101 players and advice that I gave out when I was kind of making my guide on what to do when you're getting started with this game was to only go for the spells that you need. Only go to Death up to Faint, only go into Ice up to Tower Shield, and Life up to Satyr. Whatever you needed, you would just go to that and then stop. But now it seems like they're actually pushing this idea of becoming the other school and having both, being like a hybrid wizard, which I'm okay with. Like, they can do that if other players want to be a hybrid wizard where you're Death and Life or whatever other schools combinations that you want to do, that's fine. That's not personally how I'm going to play the game, but they are pushing it a little bit more now. We had the gear where different pieces, I don't think I have any examples of that. Maybe I do. Actually, yeah, I do right here. So they were pushing this dual school feature onto a lot of new pieces of gear. And you see this on pretty much all the level 150 gear is going to have these dual stats where we have on this one, Myth and Storm. So you get stats for both. And as a longtime player of this game, I look at this, I'm just like, that seems like a waste. Why even put these stats that I'm never going to use on something like this? I'm never going to go for this gear because I'm only going to play my school. I'm not going to play another school. Yes, I'm going to use spells from other schools. I'm going to use Faint. I'm going to use, you know, maybe Tower Shield, stuns, different shields if I need it from other schools. Maybe I'll use a spell or two in certain scenarios if I need it. But other than that, I'm not going to become another school. They've changed that now, or they're trying to change it with these new pips. I've been seeing some things on Twitter, and Ratbeard or someone on the dev team confirmed that the school pips are going to be 50% better than power pips. So think about that, 50% better than power pips. Power pips are 2 pips. 50% of 2 is 1. So 1 plus 2, 3. Okay, so school pips are going to be worth 3 pips. That makes it way better. Your school pip that you choose, you can choose whatever other school besides your own that you want to generate these school pips for. So on my life, say I want to generate Death pips, I can pick that. I don't know how. Maybe there's going to be like some type of UI setting where you can pick Death school pips. Maybe there's a stat that'll tell you your percentage to earn this pip every turn. It's probably going to be super low, let's be honest. But there are things and ways that you can make it go up. I'll talk about that. But yeah, say I want to generate death school pips. I select death on wherever it's going to be. Maybe it's on your deck or something. And you choose that, and I will be able to generate death pips. I put in some death spells, and if I get that pip, I can cast Banshee with 1 pip. I can cast Banshee with just 1 death school pip. That seems pretty good, right? Like, that's not horrible. That actually makes this start to feel viable because these pips are more valuable. I don't know what the percentages are on generating them, but I mean, it's probably less than Shadow. Shadow doesn't really have like a percentage, but it's probably less than Shadow, probably a little more rare than Shadow pips. And maybe there's a chance that you can get it up. I don't think you could ever get like 100%. I feel like that would be kind of broken. So we finally have this mega pip, or whatever people were going to call it, super pip, that people wanted for a while. I mean, it is kind of overpowered to just give us a super pip or whatever that has 3 pips in one, and you can generate that and then cast spells with it, just like power pips. But this makes it more, you know, more tailored to just a certain school, but it is powerful. So in order to increase your chances of getting this pip, you have to put more spell. This is the part that I'm a little bit kind of confused by, but maybe it'll make sense the more that we actually see and I read discussion on it and I see how it's used. But they were saying that in order to get the highest percentage chance of getting this pip, you have to fill up your deck with pretty much all spells. It goes based on percentage. So I never play Wizard101 with a deck like this. Maybe I did in the past. Maybe there's some videos that you could see where I have a deck that looks like this going into PvE. But I'm sorry, if anyone plays PvE with a deck like this, unless it's like a really drawn out fight, like a very specific boss fight where you need a ton of spells, you know it's going to take forever. Though I feel like there shouldn't be fights like that. Like, there's a lot of strategies where you don't need to do this. But hey, maybe some people do. But it's rare. They are now encouraging this type of setup, not these exact spells, but having this many spells in, because it gives you the highest chance. So with this 100% of the of the deck filled up, I will get a higher percentage to get a school specific pip. If I choose death, then I'll have a higher chance to get those. I don't play the game like that. I play the game with 7 cards and that's it. I literally play, like, on my life right now, I would probably go something like this with like couple of feints, couple of elemental blades. That's already too much, and I'd go like that. This is like general support deck right here. 2, 4, 6, 7 cards. And I know the devs don't really like that. It seems like they're kind of trying to push people away from these simple deck setups, but it works, right? You can obviously have as many treasure cards as you want to, but it works. And maybe they're gonna make more challenging fights that require you, because there are times where I put in a lot more cards if the fight is more challenging, where I know I'm going to need more than 7 cards. But it just depends. It depends how difficult the encounter is, and if you know your teammates are gonna have certain spells and stuff, then yeah, you just gotta be prepared. But that is one thing that I don't really like, that it's a percentage, because if I go in with this many with this many cards, I'm gonna have like the lowest percentage available for getting these new pips. So let's say it's the start of the turn and I have, I think it was 97% chance to get a power pip. Let's say I get a power pip. I'm wondering if the other stat is in addition to the power pip. So you get a power pip and then you get the other pip as well, just like shadow pips. That's how shadow pips work. So technically you could get a power pip, shadow pip, and this new pip all in one turn. Is that possible? I don't think any of these really like conflict with each other. They all have their own separate roles for getting these pips. I'm wondering if we're going to have gear that would have the stat, because they did say this is going to be a stat that you can get. So if you can get gear that gives you this new pip percentage chance or rating, whatever it's going to be, then you could increase that chance and get the pips more often. Maybe you can get up to 100%. I don't know. That feels like it would be really good if it was 100%. Then basically you could just become that school and you would always get the pip and you'd be able to cast that school spells so often. Like, I feel like that could be abused because then people would just become the other school. Like, if I could get a death pip every single turn, I would just play on my life character and just be death. I would just use the dual school gear sets and stuff and just be death and be generating pips faster than an actual death wizard. So I feel like they need to kind of find the balance there, which they probably will, and they'll be testing it. So all this leads into the new spells that we're going to be getting in Novus. And they've teased us a bunch. I think the latest TikTok that they showed was one of the new spells. And it seems like from that spell video that they showed that they're going to be hybrid spells. I'm guessing in the video it was like a Minotaur with fire. So it looks like Myth and Fire spell. They're doing these hybrid spells, and I'm guessing they're going to require certain school pips in order to cast these. I don't know if they're going to let you mix and match and choose which schools you're going to put together to make these hybrid spells, but it looks exciting. I hope they're good. I mean, they are going to be for level 158 or 160, and I don't know, it seems like they could be like interesting spells to use. You're only going to be able to use it if you actually can get those pips for the other school, whatever school you choose, but it's something to look forward to. I feel like they've already kind of drawn out Shadow a lot, so I'm okay with them not making new Shadow spells. Like, we've gotten a lot of Shadow spells, so they're kind of moving on to this dual school stuff, which I'm all for. I'm excited to see how it plays out in Test Realm, which I'm guessing is next week. We'll see. Whenever it comes out, I will cover it and go over everything of the update notes, and then I'll try to cover bits and pieces of Test Realm that I think are interesting. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you're excited for Test Realm, leave a like on this video. Definitely be subscribed and turn on post notifications so you know when I post that first video of Test Realm. Other than that, hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you all next time.